Summary of the book Mental Consequences New Complete Why Innovators Will Rule the Future, written by Daniel Pink. Members, it is what attracts a person and what gives him freedom of choice and decision. Thanks to him, the individual has the opportunity to develop, discover, and continuously improve his life. He has completed the study and anatomy of the human brain. He has learned to do his best, but in your opinion, what have they achieved? And the right part will be considered. Who benefits most from celebrities, the most important of whom are managers about celebrities and his poet, and he uses the greatest abilities and energies that the current era requires and how they can be developed. Here we will find adequate answers for the person to all of these questions. Here there is something that gives us a different picture and a more comprehensive view of the variables that have transformed our era from the era of knowledge workers and their confinement to analysis and logic to the era of creativity, which requires a whole new mind from a person. Chapter 1. The right and left sides of the brain work together in an integrated manner. It seems that we are in a world that has been dominated by learners who employ knowledge. The scientific knowledge they received in their universities and in their professional lives, but what is happening around us now indicates the opposite of what was prevalent. At the present time, and with the current wave of development, creative individuals are emerging who are gradually controlling the industry of life's processes. After the economy was dependent on the computer and people with similar capabilities, it has now become relying on creative people with ways of thinking, new ones who put forward ideas that are apparently unrelated or sequential, but they reach a new innovative result that helps others and gives them happiness. But who controls this change? It is nice to know that the main driver of the latter is that spherical organ located in your head. Yes, it is the brain, if we study the brain. Anatomically, it becomes clear to us that the human being consists of millions and millions of nerve cells, and that it is divided into two parts, the right part, which directs sensations and feelings, and the left part, which specializes in managing logic and analytical processes. This functional division explains what is happening these days. What made the information age rise and shine is the left part, but what will work to this era, at its peak of brightness, was the right side. But does the difference in function between the two sides mean that one works without the other, contrary to what was believed? Previously, the brain works on its right and left sides at the same time. When studying our reactions to situations with others around us, the function of the right side was proven, as it is able to think comprehensively, understand patterns, decode codes, and deal with nonverbal responses such as facial expressions. As for the left side, it has proven its effectiveness in analysis and deduction. It is also responsible for speech and language. There are specific areas in each part of the brain that are activated according to the situation. However, neuroscientists still agree that each part of the brain has a different approach that affects our personal lives. Accordingly, for differences between the two parts of the brain have been proven. First, the right part controls the movement of the left side. From the body, the opposite is true. Secondly, the right side does things at the same time, such as interpreting expressions and perceiving images, while the left side works in a sequential manner, such as arithmetic operations. Thirdly, the left side is specialized in language and choosing sentences and phrases, while the right side works on understanding visual expressions. The last difference lies in the fact that the left side is specialized in logical analysis, but the right side sees things without analysis or detail, and what we can understand from these differences is that our lives exist with the work of both sides together. Chapter 2. Creativity has become a basic requirement to keep pace with the changes of the 21st century. For a long period of the 20th century, a general societal idea prevailed, inherited from parents, that education is a means of achieving decent living, and the result was high influx into universities and huge numbers of graduates. They master the use of the left side of the synthesizers. In our current 21st century, the prevailing idea about the control of the left side of the brain is exposed to three influential factors that play a major role in drawing attention to the capabilities of the right side. These factors include, firstly, abundance. As with the presence of the enormous abundance and types of luxury that we currently enjoy, there are many options. It was necessary to employ beauty in products. Rationality and functionality were no longer sufficient to convince people and attract them. Therefore, it became necessary to take advantage of the creative abilities of the right side to come up with striking images for people. The second factor is represented by the continent of Asia, as it is the destination of those with money due to the presence of low-cost labor, and thus the number of available jobs decreases. For craftsmen and even for university graduates, there is intense competition in the labor market. If you are not distinguished by your creative abilities, then you should be really careful. As for the third factor, it will lie in automation. Replacing humans with machines that perform functions similar to those of the left side is an alarm bell for those who are completely dependent. Therefore, it is important that we look again at our capabilities and develop the capabilities of our right side. It is nice to have we mention here, in general, the development of human progress over the past centuries, as man moved from the era of agriculture, when he was a peasant, to the era of industry, when he was called a factory worker, relying on his physical strength. Then he moved with great speed to the information age, where knowledge workers relied on the capabilities of the outside world. The left side of the brain. So what can our current era be called? Chapter 3. The era of creativity requires us to acquire new senses to use a fully advantaged mind. We can call our current era the era of creators, empaths, and makers of meaning and content, as the capabilities of the right side of the brain have become very popular, and this is what calls us to ask ourselves, as companies or individuals, some questions, such as, is what we offer to the market now required in an age of abundance? Can a computer do what we do? Can a person perform the same service but at a lower cost? You will be in serious danger. If the answer is yes, and from here comes the need to use sublime thought and sublime touch, for sublime thought is the ability to finding artistic and emotional beauty. The sublime touch means the ability to empathize with others and transcend in pursuit of purpose and meaning. We have senses. 5. But in the age of creativity, we can use 6 senses other than our basic senses to remain brilliant in the age of creativity, which are design, story, symphony, empathy, play, and meaning. By effectively using these senses in addition to your effective abilities, you can obtain the new complete mind that the current and future era requires. Our first stop will be with the sense of design. Because of its extreme importance, design itself is something that the computer cannot take away from you. It is your own creativity if design occupies a great place, because the aesthetics of design in our time have become very important. Beauty creates happiness for customers and improves the outlook on life, and because design is not easy for you to train yourself in and develop. Your skills and abilities are in it, and now let's get to know the rest of the senses. Chapter 4. Knowing and using the 6 new senses gives greater opportunities and creativity. The sense of story is a process of merging the logic and wisdom of the left side of the brain with the feelings of the right side and the result of my experience, my thoughts, and the feelings of someone who preceded you in the experience. It is faster in influencing and remaining in the human mind than theories and others, and because your life is essentially a story. So be sure to leave an immortal imprint that will benefit others and contribute to the development of humanity. As for the sense of symphony, it is a term given to the skill of playing the strings of your right side of the brain to develop the skill of analysis, assembly, and reaching connections between things. While the sense of drawing is the best skill for developing this symphony, but it is not the only one, as finding connections in things, many things in your life are another training method to possess this skill. But empathy is a skill that can be felt and is intangible, as it is based on feeling for others. This feeling is also based on putting yourself in the place of others, in the same circumstances, and feeling what they feel. Thus, you can have a more comprehensive and broader view and move between rational and emotional judgment easily. Acting is one of the best skills that helps you gain empathy. Perhaps it will be it is strange that we mention play as a skill in this era, because you will find those who oppose the idea of seriousness, rigor, and development with play, but adding play and fun, extinguishing the joy, and combining them with innovative effectiveness, especially with the availability of electronic games, improves the relationship between the right and left sides of the brain. Ultimately, the search for possessing a complete new mind to suit our age does not forget to sense the last one is the meaning, because, as we delve deeper into the semi-material requirements of our lives, we must not forget to make our lives with us, as the connection between your life and your achievements has a great meaning emanating from within you, makes you feel that you are in the right place and path, raises your feeling of inner satisfaction, and makes you feel the value of what you do and offer. Finally, remember to feel gratitude and contemplate all the blessings around you. There is nothing wrong with giving ourselves a rest and time for recreation, which improves our psychology and increases our ability to deal with the pressures of life. Happiness remains an art that not everyone can master. A prominent paragraph from the book. The past decades belonged to people of a certain type with minds of a certain type. Computer programmer who is able to write programs quickly and automatically, and lawyers who are able to draft contracts with precision and skill, but the keys to the world are on their way to being owned by other people. The future will belong to people of a completely different kind, with minds of a completely different kind as well. Creators and those capable of empathy, inventors and designers. Conclusion. Everything must have an end, but let the conclusion of these lines be the beginning. For a new way to chart your future in the age of creativity, focus your efforts on producing what other learners cannot do by extinguishing your own touch and creative ideas. Do not forget to nourish your passion and spirit and combine your mind and heart. In order to secure your seat on the next journey, all you have to do is get rid of thinking with a fossilized mentality. The brain, that wonderful part that we possess, sets us apart from the rest creatures are on this earth, so give it free rein to work in an integrated way, so that the right and left hemispheres participate in a harmonious way. Make room for your mind to employ all its skills. Add to me your senses. The creative senses, which include design, story, symphony, empathy, game, and meaning. Contemplate what is around you and deal with the new world in a new, innovative, and creative way using your sublime thought and sublime touch.